and I will let you talk more, I swear. But first, we have a caller from India who is, it's very early in the morning for this poor guy, and he's been waiting for a while. So hello, Ujjval. Welcome to the show. Did I say your name right?
Hey, Russell.
Hello.
Yeah, that's right.
Woo. Good.
I'm impressed.
Hey, Phil.
Hello.
Okay, there's a little bit of a lag, I think, so we're going to try to work around it and take turns. What's on your mind today?
Okay, there was, first of all, I'm an atheist myself, and I think I've been an atheist for about 2.5 years, maybe 3 years close to. I have a very specific kind of situation that I want to talk about. I belong to, at least I was born as a Hindu, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with the caste system in India.
Marginally.
But I'm from the Brahmin community. I'm from the Brahmin community. That is the priest community. And being the eldest son of the family, there are some things that I'm supposed to do on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, quarterly, yearly, and for about as long as I live, I am supposed to do certain things. And being an atheist, I don't actually believe in most of those things. Actually, none of those things I believe in. Mainly around the funerals, there are a lot of rituals that we are supposed to follow. So, and the eldest son of the family is supposed to perform all those rituals. In the absence of the eldest son, it's the youngest son who's supposed to do it, if they have more than 3 sons, that is. And it's mostly the sons of the family, who are supposed to do this. So being an atheist, I don't believe in them, and I won't be actually doing it for my parents.
I want to ask you something. Quick question. Do your parents know that you don't believe in their faith anymore?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
My
do they
wife
have
knows it as well, and they're
they have
sort
a problem with it?
supportive of it, but
okay.
I don't think they've thought of it, to this extent, as in thinking about funerals and rituals around funerals, because we generally don't tend to think about funerals, as in till someone actually passes away. Well, actually dies. I don't believe that they pass on to some other place. They just die. That's it. So I don't think they've given it much thought, and I have started giving it a thought recently. Because one of my uncles passed away, my father's brother, younger brother passed away, and my cousin went through all these rituals himself. So, and I've known about this for a long time, but I just didn't give it much thought. And when I saw this happen, I gave it some thought, and now I'm kind of scared, skeptic. I don't know what to do.
I would like to ask, what do the rituals involve exactly? What is it that you're not comfortable carrying out as an atheist? Okay.
The Hindu faith actually believes that people, when they die, they pass on to another life. They are reincarnated as some other creature. Maybe another human being, maybe a dog, maybe a cat. We don't know. It could be anything, depending on their karma, depending on the positive things that they've done in their life and the negative things that they've done in their life. They get a life assigned to them, and God has nothing to do with it, apparently. It's just that they're assigned a different life, and I don't believe that. And most of these rituals actually revolve around that concept of karma.
So being an atheist doesn't automatically disqualify you from speaking at funerals, although sometimes is a matter of what kind of relationships you are trying to maintain with other people. It sounds like your parents are not especially bothered by your atheism, but I'm just wondering, I don't have a full sense of what they would expect you to do, but if you're supposed to, say, we hope that he's gone on to be reincarnated as something really cool, or whatever it is that you are expected to say. Would there be any consequences if you just said, I liked my uncle and appreciated him, or whoever it is, and
Russell,
I will miss him and so
Russell,
forth?
I'm sorry to cut you off there, but it's not just talking. It's I have to sit through the rituals, as in I have to perform some rituals, as in I don't know. It's very difficult to explain. It's very complicated.
Okay. What if
not
you
just
don't
talking? Yeah, if I don't perform those rituals, although I don't believe that, it said that if the eldest son doesn't perform these rituals, the third generation, as in my great grandfather, will not reach heaven or whatever.
Okay, but that's not true.
I don't believe in any of that.
Yeah,
crap.
yeah.
And I don't want to do it, but
Sure.
it's like I might be guilt tripped into doing it.
I have a couple of thoughts. One is you could talk to your parents about it and see how important it is, and maybe they wouldn't be bothered by you not doing it, and they could plan for someone else doing it.
Oh.
Well, okay, so apparently that's
is
not
very
a likely
important for
option.
them.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, when I've had parents and relatives die, I kind of see it as I will do whatever it is they wanted, because that's the last request they ever get. And so for me, it's kind of like, I don't know how else to say it, but I have a sacred obligation to do whatever they wanted, no matter what it means to me, because that's their last wish upon their death. And so to me, if I had to go up and say, religious verses, or sit in a certain way, or endure a 2 or 3 hour ceremony, for me, I would do that not because I agree with it, or not because I like it or I want to, but because it's important for me to honor what they would have wanted. That's how I look at it, and it's a way to honor your parents, not to turn against what you personally believe.
I guess that makes sense, yes. But I wanted to give you a small description of what I'm expected to actually do there. So the first 10 days or after the death of the person, it's supposed to be mourning for us. 10 or rather 11 days for the person who's actually performing the rituals. It is 11 days. So 11 days of continuous rituals every single day. Then after that, for about a year, I'll have to do it every month. And then after that, it is every single year of my life I'll have to perform it. So it somehow goes against my beliefs or lack thereof, which is why I'm struggling with this. But yeah, what you said does make sense. It kind of helps me out.
Yeah, I totally agree with Phil when it comes to just laying this all out to your parents. I mean, talking to us, I'm sure, will help clarify what you're thinking about. But really, if your parents are not combative about your lack of belief, then at least talking to them honestly and letting them know that you feel this way, and despite feeling this way, maybe are willing to grudgingly promise to do this anyway, would be a productive conversation. Maybe they don't care all that much, or as much as you think they do. Of course, I hate to advise people to lie, but it's always possible you could say, yeah, I'll do this if it makes you feel better, and then not do it.
Well, that was the other thought that I had, is that it's not necessarily that you do 100% or 0%. Maybe you can do the 11 days and everyone would see that you did all that stuff. I don't know if the other parts of the ceremony are done in public. No one may ever know that you don't do the remaining activities for every year for the rest of your life.
Well, my wife would know.
Oh, is your wife a serious believer?
Oh, she's a religious person. Although she's very
that's a whole
rational.
separate problem.
She's skeptic most of the times, but she still believes in the Hindu gods. So
why don't you ask her to do it for you?
No, it's the responsibility of the eldest son to do it. Eldest son of those two, or the parents, that is. in the absence of the eldest son, as in if he no longer exists, as in he dies or something, then the youngest son can do it, but not the ones in the middle.
Do you have a younger brother?
The second son can't do it. It has to be the youngest. Yeah, I do.
Well, would it be acceptable for you to just say, pass over me, I want my younger brother to do it?
I am not really sure if I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could be an option. I'll check on that.
And maybe your younger brother could help you do the ceremony, and if he's more religious, you could do some of it and then let him continue on for the rest of his life doing it.
Yeah, and the question really becomes allowed by whom? Because you think, and I think, that there are no Hindu gods or Hindu resurrectors, whoever the authority is that is making you do this. So that authority doesn't exist. There are social pressures that may require you to do this, but that's not the same. I mean, if you left the country and didn't do it, you would only have to deal with the blowback of trying to live in a new country. So I'm saying, I'm not telling you to leave the country, but I'm saying that you are allowed to do it. It's just that you're having a difficult time balancing what you feel are the consequences and responsibilities of different actions.
Yes. There's no obligation. I mean, no one has actually forced me to do it, but it's kind of complicated to explain even.
Of course.
Is there an atheist
there is
community?
someone watching. This society is watching. They are judging. Although I don't care for them at all, my wife does, and I care for her. So
is there an atheist?
That's where I'm stuck, right?
Is there an atheist community in your country that knows these rituals much better than we do that you can talk to?
Possibly, but they don't have a call-in show.
True. Also, India is a pretty big place.
Yeah.
There may be something that's pretty far away. But it sounds like
social evils that they are fighting. Actually, they might not be as open as you guys are. There are too many social evils here in India that they're fighting for, or fighting against. That is, sorry. So I am not really sure if they'd be interested in such a petty thing.
I get it. It seems like one of the people that it's most important to have this conversation with may be your wife. If she expects you to go through this thing that you don't believe in, and you can't even talk to her about why you don't believe in it or why you would rather not do it, then that sounds like a whole lot of other problems. Although I'm speaking from the perspective of a guy living in the United States where divorce is relatively common, and not just knee-jerk advising you to get a divorce. I'm just saying sometimes people need to assess what kind of relationship they have and make sure that they're on solid footing and not being coerced into stuff based on a need to stay in a relationship, whether they are happy with the situation or not.
No, actually, that's not a problem in our relationship at all. I mean, she's pretty rational. She doesn't force me to do things that I don't like doing. And in fact, most of the rituals that she's supposed to do requires me to be there, and I'm not, and she doesn't complain.
Well, then why don't you just ask her, darling, how would you feel if I just didn't do this ritual? And find out what she says. I mean, if it's important to her, you can still reevaluate and decide to do it anyway to make her happy. But if she says, I don't care, then you're off the hook.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, my next stop should be my wife then.
I think so.
Thanks for the advice, guys.
You bet. Thanks for calling.
There was one more small thing that I wanted to talk about, unless you want to move on to other callers.
Well, we have a guy who told the call screener that he has to get off in now 13 minutes, but honestly, I don't know if I care about call next time. With more time available.
No problem.
No, but you can stay on. I was talking to the other guy.
What is your question?
Yeah, go ahead.
This has something to do with reincarnation itself.
Okay.
my father is a very religious person, and being from the priest family, he's actually trying to learn at this age. He's about 60 plus, and he's trying to learn all the rituals and perform them himself. So far, others have been helping us out, and he believes in reincarnation. He gave me multiple examples where people have got reincarnated. There were mention of reincarnation in the religious texts. I don't know if you've heard of Mahabharata. So that has some references to reincarnation and all. And he's a firm believer. I'm not really sure how to counter that. I mean, I've not seen any actual examples of people reincarnating anywhere. I've not seen any examples given by science. So I'm not. These are the points that I presented to him, but he was not convinced. I don't know what else I can present.
Well, I spend a lot more time arguing against Western religions, and so while I'm aware of the Hindu concept of reincarnation, it's not something I argue against a lot. But I feel like my first question to a serious Hindu caller would be, how many of the people alive, are the people who are alive today all reincarnations of previous people? And if so, how does that work since the population keeps growing? How regularly do new souls come into existence? Or, if you go back to single-celled life forms, did that thing have one soul that split up into more? Or do souls just keep popping into existence all the time? I'm not sure how it works. This is a serious question.
Yeah. That helps. That helps. Any other points that you might have?
Well, the only other thought that I have...
That does it, but...
Yeah. One thing that I think about is, particularly with family, what do you gain by winning the argument?
That is also true.
So, it might be something that you would want to argue with other believers, but maybe with your family, the best thing is to not have that argument. But that's only something that you can judge. Deconverting parents is a dangerous game.
Or
to
put it another way,
maybe I should.
To put it another way, deconverting parents is rarely successful.
Yes.
So, so if you don't want to, so you got to weigh whether the argument is more important to you than just keeping up a comfortable relationship with people you love. And it depends.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Great. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. Well, see you later. All right. The person who was